All right, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 Personnel Board meeting. We're meeting in a brand new facility downstairs. Well, it's maybe not brand new, but it's a new venue for us. And I'm going to call a meeting to order, and since we only have three, I'll make certain three are noted. So Kate Ryan.
Here.
Josh Fane.
Here.
And Bill Moracek here. Okay, so we're going to go. And we have the August 13th minutes that are in the packet.
I would move we adopt the minutes of August 13th as included in the packet.
Okay. All right, so all in favor, Kate,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
and Bill Moracek, yes. And then the October 8th minutes are still in your vault.
Mine, and I don't have them ready.
Right, you're in your.
In process,
Yeah, okay. All right, we're gonna move to the Assistant Town Manager, Director of HR report.
All right.
So we
I
start,
think I can because we share a Zoom account.
I think you can still zoom in. Try.
Okay.
If not, I can zoom in and, okay. Anyway, hi. So first and foremost, I want to introduce Lindsay Denny. She's our new employee development and engagement specialist. So she started 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. Has it been
Yeah,
4
I
weeks?
know.
Wow.
That's featured in the Welcome to Concord.
It
Yeah.
is, although Donna got your title wrong, but she was gonna
saw
fix
that.
it. I was gonna start getting
Fun.
calls about land
Yeah.
use and yeah,
Yep.
they had her in his community development, like, there, she's ours. So this was basically Lindsay's position. We created, the job description came before you a couple of meetings ago, but this is a repurposing of one of the HR generalist FTEs to better fit kind of the direction we're going and the needs of the department and the organization. So Lindsay's working on a lot of great things, including the goal setting, which is now underway. We're in our goal setting period for fiscal 26. She's helping get some trainings put together and just working on really kind of all those retention efforts. We've done a good job with recruitment pieces in the last year. This is kind of taking things the next step forward, and all kinds of initiatives and events. So Lindsay, I don't know if you want to say anything. Bill will probably have some questions for you, I'm sure.
I was hoping you might be share with us sort of your background and
Yeah.
your last employer.
So my background education wise, I received a master's in what's called industrial organizational psychology. Long story short, that is the study of human behavior in the workplace. So all things how employees succeed, what organizations need to do to succeed. So that led me to, well, my first kind of professional role was in career services. So I was helping, interview prepping, coaching, resumes and cover letters and kind of career counseling. And then my most recent role was a training and development lead. So this was in the private sector for a multifamily marketing kind of tech company. A very similar role though with training and development. So all things designing and building the training programs to then leading and facilitating those virtually and in person. And those were things from, making sure we have all of our compliance trainings completed for the year, as well as some soft skill trainings for employees, as well as manager trainings, and kind of all aspects of training for employees. And then I did some customer, so external facing trainings as well with that company. And then also similar to this role, focus on all things engagement and retention, really focus on company culture and how to foster that and strengthen that. So a lot of the similar things that I'll be doing here to facilitate our employee events, and really just bring town employees together through those things. But yeah, if you have any questions, I feel like that's a little brief background, but
That's good, that helps.
Thorough.
Helps us. Sounds like that first role that you were talking about was, it sounds like you might have been the original ChatGPT.
yeah, honestly, yep. I don't know how many more career counselors are out there. I know they're skilled, but some people do turn to ChatGPT for all that now.
do.
Yep.
And we can tell.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so one of the events we've put together, I guess we might as well just show it now before I get into our.
The video first.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's just do the video. So we recently had a Halloween event. We had a little costume contest. We also had a little pumpkin decorating, and Lindsay, with her skills and talents, put together a really nice montage, which, we'll play for you here.
I don't know how the audio is gonna work here, but
I don't know, we'll find out. If there's no music, that's okay. I mean, the music was fun, but.
music was cute.
Buffering.
Well, maybe no music.
That's okay. Oh, you are muted, I think, though. Feels,
Oh, I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh, wow, and the other the pumpkin.
That was the pumpkin winner, actually.
Could it not be? Oh, it's too-
wow. Something crochet on
wow.
Yay.
That's really fun.
It really was. People, like, we thought the pumpkin decorating thing might be kind of like, nobody will want to do it, and we were blown away by the pumpkins we
Yeah.
received. People are really way more talented than I am.
Was this done on iMovie or did you,
Canva.
oh, Canva?
Mhm.
Yeah, so good stuff. So people were really excited. And then we did a whole kind of survey follow-up because people had the chance to vote too. So employees all got to vote for like the pumpkin they liked the best without voting for
Where
their
were they?
own.
Were the pumpkins all in one place or were they where the?
No, we just did a Dropbox. People uploaded all the photos. But it's interesting because a lot of people were like, oh, we should like for on the feedback, we're like, let's get together next year, maybe bring them all to a central location and make that like some type of event. So it was really good. People got into it, but yeah, to try to make it easy for people to participate. Because again, we have this never ending problem where we're all scattered all over. We're like, just, we'll do a Dropbox, upload it. So people took their costume pictures, uploaded it. And then again, Lindsay, was able to put together a whole form for voting and everything else. And so people got into it. Yeah. So Henrietta, the pumpkin one for council on aging, and the light department one for the costumes based on the votes. So it was a lot of fun.
That's great.
So,
That's
and then our next event is actually on Friday. We're doing an employee brunch for Thanksgiving for everybody. So we've got, I think, 145 people that signed up for that. So that's gonna be good. Big,
Wow.
busy, and a little snug over at Harvey Wheeler, but we'll make it work. And I think we put in the packet, right, the survey questions from the feedback on that. Just to kind of show the questions we asked and to kind of hear what people were looking for. So again, that one particular event, 30 loved it, 38 liked it, the rest was kind of like, okay, or didn't participate, but it was a pretty good response. Oh, I see, we had the one slide in for the,
Yeah, it's like if you click on the video, it plays it.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I'm not that technological.
Magnolia did it, very inconspicuous.
That's right, she does the packets. Yeah, so these are just kind of things we're gonna try to do to really focus more on, bringing people together, building that culture and, again, part of the feedback we've been hearing in a couple of different places, how do we make, including this group too, how do we make Concord kind of that, employer of choice, like a destination? It's really about building some of those culture pieces and things. So that's what we're working towards, and Lindsay's gonna be integral in that, so.
I just want to comment that I think you and the group, the HR group, have really done a magnificent job to think about other ways in which you can create this environment for Concord as a municipality of choice. So it takes
We're
time,
trying.
it takes effort, and it takes some work. I think, I just want to applaud all of you
Thank you.
for thinking of doing something a little different.
And this is the fun stuff.
This
If
fun.
we didn't have, all of the problems and other things, like we could do this stuff full time. We all
no
really
problem.
enjoy that, but.
Lower on the agenda.
But it's been great. It's been great. And I got a lot of good takeaways. The town manager and I attended the International City County Managers Association Conference 2 weeks ago now. And there was actually some really good sessions. Carrie took back a lot of stuff on all things AI. They had a lot of segments running about AI, how you can incorporate that into all aspects of, municipal work and service. And then they had a ton of stuff on this very topic of culture building, employee engagement, retention. So we had a demo on some software last week and definitely a lot of just fascinating products out there. And I envy places in other parts of the country that have a lot more money to be able to spend on some of this stuff because some places are really, really sharp. Like one community is doing 40 hours a year for employees to do, a community service event. They just say, okay, everybody gets 40 hours, go do something service oriented. And that's a way, again, to kind of build teamwork, but also give back to the community. And that's something that, maybe realistically we could look at doing something like that, even if we just did it for one day, like on 9/11 for the day of service, start small, but just lots of good ideas and things people are doing. So we'll see. So that's all the fun stuff. So handbook update. We are still needing to get you that legal reviewed handbook. We're gonna aim for December, but I'm starting to feel like January might be more realistic.
So what's what are the obstacles?
Just us having time to go through all of
Okay.
legal's edits and whatnot, and now we started adding some tweaks and components to it now too. So we've got what legal went through, and then we've just added a policy on licenses and things for public works that we just need to solidify, but it's on our list. It's just been a little crazy.
So any addition or modification, then we'll have to go back to the attorneys.
Yeah, but the piece we added is basically something that's already in one of the collective bargaining agreements, so it's pretty much been vetted. It's just tooling it for kind of the general populace. So we don't expect that to be anything heavy. But yeah, we're aiming to try for December. I just have this gut feeling it might be January that we finally bring it to all of you, because again, as we were talking when I got here, I feel like December's next week,
Yeah,
especially when you
so
have
soon.
Thanksgiving in there, so. But again, the big crunch the last, month was doing all of the stuff with the goal setting. We did have successful trainings too. We held, I think, three sessions where people could come and get kind of training on the goal setting process, what we've changed this year based on the feedback. And then I did, 2 one-on-one sessions. I met individually with the facilities team. They wanted to do it as a group, which I was happy to oblige. And then the water sewer department as well. So it was 5 or 6 sessions that we sat down and did that. So it was kind of a big push and focus the last few weeks, is making sure everybody had a clear understanding of the incentive pay program, the goal setting, and all that coming into the goal setting period, which closes on, I think, the 21st. 26th, right before Thanksgiving, right? Or is that
Yeah,
right after?
right before, yeah.
See, so it's like, there it is, it's all gone, so more on that. Goals are starting to trickle in. I looked at the tracker today. I know you've been keeping an eye on it, and yeah, people have got some good stuff. There's a few I think we need to connect on where you might just need to follow up with somebody. There's one that was really good, but I'm like, how are they gonna measure that? But that's again, part of what Lindsay's gonna be helping to do, is making sure that the goals that are in there are all SMART goals, make it a little more tight this year, so. So that's the handbook update, and then Aaron will fill you in on where we're at with personnel reporting.
All right, so in your packet, the first set of data is your turnover for regular status employees. And I just want to recognize that I understand the interest for this meeting is more around the turnover rate. I'm having a hard time with the Munis report that actually pulls that information together for us right now. So this is the temporary fix for the information. So for October, there was 4 separations, which makes cumulative from July to October, 12 separations for all departments.
So I noticed, Aaron, that in fact, 2 of the 4 in the health organization work took place in October, but 4 sticks out as a fairly significant number in the cumulative. But can you just describe sort of the But
Sure. One, we had our inspector resigned. So that was a planned resignation where they gave a notice. The other one was actually a new hire that resigned quickly after starting. So they started October, but they also ended October.
I've had somebody starts in the morning and leaves in the.
Yeah, I think you actually asked about this in a previous
Yeah.
meeting and we were like, it never happens, and then
You jinxed it.
it happened. We are actively working to backfill and we have offers out and they'll be starting soon.
Health in general right now too is just really tough to
Mhm.
recruit for public health. And Kate, I don't know if you've had any recent vacancies over there, but it's just a really challenging field right now.
What's the head count in it?
What you steal one of our people?
Yes.
Oh. That's right, you
Yeah,
did.
a big kill.
Yeah. How is Moira doing though?
She's good.
Yeah, we love Moira.
Fabulous.
Yeah, right. So that's one of the
Right.
vacancies, thanks to Kate. So pick her off the committee. Just kidding. Not really.
I know.
I just have to remember I'm being recorded.
What's the head count in health?
I think right now we are at. It's small. I want to say it's under 5. I don't know.
Oh, so
the
this is a
total.
really
Yeah, it was a pretty impactful month.
total turnover.
Yeah. Any other questions on turnover? All right, so I condensed the time to fill stats for you. So right now it's just by department. And I highlighted at the bottom, so our average time to fill, so that's days where the requisition gets opened until the offer is accepted, we're averaging 65 days. And then days from the requisition being open to their actual start date is averaging 94 days right now.
So is there a way to? Because when you start working with averages and so forth, with days and like this, that if you have one opening, then that takes a long period of time. But then you have another opening that takes such a short period of time. So is there a way you can put in parentheses or something about how many positions actually are used in the calculation for that department?
Yeah, I should be able to put that in because we're keeping track of all of our recruitment activity.
Yeah.
And then just continuing down, I included year to date, so this is calendar, so January to current. All the hiring, so full-time, limited status, temporary status. And we're looking at a grand total of 155.
And I think our previous meetings, we've talked about the fact that now, since you've got Munis and you've got resources to do the tabulations, that we're gonna be able to continue on a yearly basis, so that there's gonna be now the opportunity to compare this year to
Mhm.
or next year to this year, so forth,
Mm-hmm.
so.
This report in particular was pulled from Munis, so it was pretty easy to put together.
And this includes all your seasonals, right? Which
Yep.
is why the number's so high.
All the statuses.
You bring on like what, 100 or something
Yeah.
every summer?
Yep,
Just kidding.
it's a lot. Yeah, because it would have been around the 52 and the 59, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So actually, so on the regular hiring chart,
Mhm.
the BD Center is not included?
No, this is just regular status.
Oh, regular staff, okay, yeah, no, I would think that's a much better way to,
That would, if we included those, it would skew the numbers a
yeah,
lot.
it would be. All right,
And then the welcome poster is in here as well. So these are all of our October updates. We had Rose join our Community Development, Natural Resources Department. Tyler joined the Concord Public Works Department. Lindsay, you've met. And we had Joe start in the fire department. And we had a retirement. Bob Hill retired from his business manager role in Public Works after 8 years of service.
good, I think this is a really nice
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've gotten some good feedback. I think people like to see the names and the faces and, because we don't always get to see these people face to face, so it's nice. And that's it on reporting.
All right, excellent.
So we move on to item number 4, the classification actions. Is that, okay, so we're gonna start with
Oh, let me get
the
Jennifer.
2 new jobs.
Yes,
And both these obviously will need a vote, so
yes.
I'll let you move forward with the advanced metering infrastructure analyst.
So I've actually invited Jennifer. She is our customer service manager at the light plant and she is the hiring manager for this position. And she's gonna go through this role, which does need the vote. But there were also some changes, as you can see, a little bit further down to the customer service supervisor. So she's gonna talk through those as well while we have her.
Okay,
It's a little bit of both. Sorry for the confusion.
no, no, it's good.
Sure. So with the AMI analyst, it's going to be the advanced metering infrastructure analyst. This is a new role that we are adding to the team. It is because of the retirement that we have currently happening. We have actually 2 people. Both these roles are because of retirements that are coming up. But we have redefined this role a little bit. So this role will allow us to make sure as we move towards time of day as an organization in Concord, that we have the right people helping us to manage the data that we have coming in, to making sure that our billing is correct for our, that's coming out of our meters and in through our systems and flowing into our billing systems and eventually into our customers' smart hubs and into their inboxes or into their mailboxes, depending on how they choose to get their bill. So we have it highlighted that this is an essential role for us for going forward in 2026.
Okay, any questions from Kate or Josh? I'm curious as to, I mean, titles are titles, but how did you happen to select the advanced metering infrastructure? How did those particular words come about?
That it's the AMI technology is what we use to help us to actually to gather our metering information right now. So it's just an industry standard. It's partly due to the metering technology we're using. So it's the infrastructure.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other additions, subtractions?
Well, I was just curious, since this is a new role, was one of the retirements, were they doing these pieces that are you like combining different pieces into one new role? Or I was just curious who was doing the, sorry, I'm back, oh, I'm over here.
Want to look at her face.
Yeah, this is actually, so it is some of the things that Annie was doing before first. She was the metering supervisor, but with her retirement, we're looking at an opportunity. Because we have a system now that allows us to monitor it via basically through our laptops, whereas before we had somebody who was out on the road actually going around and looking at the meters and reading these meters. The technology that we're using, we need a different resource to help us to manage it. We need someone who understands the business gateways and how the data is being collected between all these meters and these transmission, and all of the things that we really need to have some type of level of data analysts that can help us to really make sure that we have, like I said, the right data in place, which Annie was doing some of those things at a particular level, but not to the level that we think we're going to need moving forward, like I said, as we're moving to time of day.
Well, so what happens to Annie's job, like the position, are we retiring that position? So that like the position description itself is not one that's an active position with the town anymore?
That's my understanding. It would be replaced with this one.
What is the salary grade for the old position compared to this one?
That's a good question. One moment. I think it came out a little bit higher because the current one before this one was a management position and this one is not. One moment. The meter supervisor is an LP8 and this one came out as an LP7.
Okay.
And how many employees report to you?
To me currently,
Well-
or to the metering person, there's
No,
currently
we-
2 employees that report
this
to
is-
Annie.
I wasn't
Oh.
clear. reports to the customer service manager.
So currently
um,
today I have Annie and I have two people who report directly to me.
Okay. Any other, entertain a motion?
I'll move we approve the advanced metering infrastructure analyst position description.
Second,
All right.
sorry.
Do we need to indicate that at the salary grade LP7 or,
I would, just to be safe,
yeah, let's, okay.
because this is an actual, it's brand new, it needs to be placed, I would do that.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve the advanced metering infrastructure AMI analyst at salary grade LP7. So all in favor, Kate,
Yes.
Josh?
Yeah.
And Bill, yes, okay. So we move,
Great.
we're gonna now talk about the customer service
Yeah,
supervisor.
I don't wanna skip around the agenda, but is it okay if
Sure, of course.
Jennifer discusses the customer service
we're very
supervisor changes? Thank you,
Since she's here.
since she's here.
So these are very minor changes actually that we've made to this to just encompass some of the things that we need, again, to help us to be successful as we move towards time of day rates in 2026. There's going to be a heavy influence on the billing and the billing pieces that of the customer service experience. And also, I think I put a little bit more in there around process improvement because we do think that we're going to have to need someone who is comfortable with making changes to the process that we have in place. And we're going to need someone to help us to execute to those. So they're very light changes, but there are some changes just to highlight some of the needs that we thought we needed for moving forward.
Okay,
Thank you, Jennifer.
thank you.
All right.
We'll go back to
Production coordinator.
production coordinator.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we're good with Jennifer, right?
Yeah,
And you're
Jennifer.
welcome to stay, but I think we're good with you, Jennifer.
Well, thank you very much. And if you have any other questions, please let me know.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, so the next position we're looking for approval for is a production coordinator. So this would be for Minuteman Media. And so I'm just gonna read to you the operational need that was given to me from the hiring manager who wasn't able to join us tonight. Minuteman Media's operational need stems from the increased volume of requests to film government meetings, community events and podcasts for Concord, Carlisle, and the joint school community. In addition, the Zoom recordings of approximately 70 boards and committees require expedited editing and posting to YouTube. We are updating our cameras and audio equipment in the townhouse, the Council on Aging, library, Concord Middle School, Concord Museum, and Minuteman Media Network's TV and podcast studios. We recently also launched new streaming apps, and for all of these reasons, we request this new position of production coordinator.
So this replaces, this is not a new FTE.
This one
in the
is-
budget?
This
It
one
is a new FTE, but it's under Minuteman Media Network, which
Okay.
is all enterprise account funded. And there's actually no existing, other than Tori's position, like full-time, Tori and Julie are kind of the full-time folks at Minuteman
And
Media.
Matt Barron.
Oh, and Matt too. All of the other videographers are all limited status, you know, they might work a meeting here or there. We do have a pretty significant need, and there is one individual who seems to do the lion's share of the evening meetings. So most likely that person will be a fairly solid candidate for this position as well, so.
So, as you just were talking, so. I'm curious, I mean, the people you mentioned are all non-exempt?
I think they're
think
all
they're-
exempt. Julie's definitely exempt. She's the manager of Minuteman Media. I'm not sure if Tori is or not, but they're all full-time, regular status.
But, so this is this will be the only non-exempt position in this group?
Unless Tori or Matt. I think they're all exempt though.
I think so too. I'm just pulling up the job description.
Do we have as a non-exempt role, do we have a sense of how much work this is gonna be? It sounds like it's so variable depending on the need, like whether they're covering a meeting or somebody else is covering a meeting and how long
Yeah.
the meeting is. Like, it seems like could be a real overtime, heavy role.
Right.
I think the schedule will basically be built with the assumption that it's gonna be predominantly, like the core hours will be mostly, I think, evenings and then the weekend stuff. For example, we had people, even yesterday on the holiday that were recording, the veterans services, you know, they record things like the parade on Patriots Day. I mean, they kind of just work all the time. But again, where there's so many evening focused meetings, it's pretty safe to say that this position will probably end up being something like, you know, 3 to 11 or something, you know, to cover all those. And then there's all kinds of editing and back work and other things that, you know, Aaron listed out that if they're scheduled, there's no night meeting that night, there's more than enough other work out at Minuteman Studios that can certainly be done. So
So as you're advertising for this position, candidates, what kind of narrative are you using to try to articulate this? It's a non-exempt position that primarily is gonna be scheduled, I'm using my word, scheduled for the evening hours. And it's not a day, really a day job.
right.
Is that, am I?
I mean, so at
communicating
this
that?
point, we're most likely gonna be internally posting, and like I said, there's one clear candidate that is gonna most likely be very interested in this, and is quite, I'll say, quite deserving of the position. They're reliable, they're here, they're fully trained on all of the equipment, they know everything and they know the expectations. They understand that it's a lot of nights, weekends, holiday hours.
But the
But if
nights-
we have to go out, if that person for whatever reason says, no, I'm not interested at all, then yes, we would have to look through kind of what, you know, posting an actual fixed schedule and communicating that that's what that need is, that it's gonna be sort of non-traditional hours based on meeting needs and things.
So is that person currently in an exempt role?
They're currently here as a limited status, being
Limited
paid,
status,
you know,
okay.
no more than 20 hours a week. I think sometimes they might work more than the 20, but as long as their average, you know, comes out, it's a non-benefited limited status position that they're in now.
But just following up on Josh's point about overtime, I mean, this is a classic situation from my experience that, you know, it's people should be paid for all time work. And if if you don't schedule and plan accordingly,
Right.
you can get yourself, one can get himself, herself into a real expensive.
Oh,
situation.
absolutely, absolutely.
How do we track time for a job like this too? There's no time clock really if you're moving all over town to.
Yeah, I don't know if they use timesheets at Minuteman. I honestly don't know what they have in place. You know, definitely anybody that's limited status, if they work a meeting, they must be submitting something to, you know, Julie, the director, to say, I worked this meeting, it was 3 hours or whatever. And again, this is probably gonna have a somewhat fixed schedule with those evenings, knowing that's when the meetings all occur. Because everybody wants to be recorded now, there's a lot of public hearings, the select board are all recorded, the light department records all of their meetings. And I'm talking about recording, not like this with Zoom, but actually, you know, on Minuteman Media Network. And then again, even meetings like this, when I'm done, this Zoom link ultimately gets sent to Minuteman Media. They do something to make it street ready, and then they put it on their YouTube page. So even meetings like this, there's all that back end work that's done at the studio as well.
Do we have an obligation? What is our obligation to record and publish meeting content, like the actual recordings?
There isn't one, but if it is recorded and people know and they ask for it, it's a public record, so we do have to
Okay.
produce it. But it's sort of like, if we're recording it, why wouldn't we just post it?
I guess maybe the question is, why would we record it?
It's a transparency and access thing. It ties into some of the, you know, people talking about wanting like remote town meetings. Disability Commission wants full accessibility. We as a town want full accessibility. So it's nice if people, you know, want to be able to watch a meeting because they can't be here either because of childcare, elder care, disability. Maybe they just don't have time and it's easier for them to pop on and watch a meeting at, you know, midnight if they're working a weird shift, or, you know, it could be anything, but it's really just so people can kind of hear the discussion, because while minutes are great, they don't capture everything, right? You know, they capture highlights, but you don't get every single verbatim word of a discussion. You don't get, you know, tone, and it's like an email, right? Like you send an email to somebody, it doesn't capture the same experience as if you have a conversation like this. So, I mean, there's definitely an advantage to it, and people want to see it. They want that access to meetings and things, so.
You know, for personally, it's the only way I can do minutes.
Yeah, right.
So I'm glad we do it.
And it begs the question too, like, I wish they would kind of change the law, like, do you have to even do minutes if you have a
Yeah.
recording? But yes, you do, and it's like, come on, let's get that a little
Yeah.
more modernized, but
That's true.
for now, the minutes stand, and that's the only official thing we're obligated to do is the posting and the meeting minutes, so.
All right, so I guess unless there are any other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve the production coordinator salary grade 2.
So moved.
Right?
Second,
All right, so all in favor, Kate Ryan,
Yes.
Josh Fay.
Yeah.
and Bill Marachek, yes, okay. That is. So we should move on to review updated job descriptions. The first one is the assistant fire chief.
Yes, so this is a vacancy right now. Our assistant fire chief was promoted to fire chief. I forget the date, semi-recently. So we're looking to backfill with the assistant fire chief position. And, the fire chief and I just kind of went through this, and I know that this looks like a lot, but it was more, organizational changes to make sure it was clear on what items fall under what category. So communication, EMS and ALS program, training, data and performance analytics, leadership and workforce development, budget. I can keep going, but you get the gist of it, just to categorize where the responsibilities fall under each of those. But it didn't change any of the grading or anything. It was more organizational changes.
You know, personally, I would hope that there's someone within the existing organization that would be a good candidate to
Hmm.
fill this.
Yeah, the process, we've got the ad out internally,
Mhm.
and we've got a decent pool of people, so the process will be starting soon.
Now, this particular decision on hiring is the fire chiefs with the concurrence of the town manager,
I believe it's
Mhm.
solely the fire chiefs, but
only the fire chief.
yeah, I expect that the town manager will be involved at some level with the interviews, even if it's on second panel.
Mhm.
I don't want to speak, because I'm actually not running
Yeah.
that recruitment, but that would be my guess.
So on another position, not someone in the fire or police, does the town manager have to give, in this case, Carrie, her approval for that?
Technically,
Job
she
offer?
is the hiring authority, yes. Just like it's also her authority to terminate an employee as well. But, you know, she typically will weigh pretty strongly on the recommendation of the division or department manager.
It's interesting to me that it doesn't follow suit throughout that particular protocol, doesn't follow throughout the whole town, but
Yeah, it's all based on statutes and who's considered the appointing authority and whatnot. And it varies from town to town, so.
It does.
okay. Any other comments, questions about the assistant fire
nothing.
chief? Okay. So we'll go on to EMS,
Police lieutenant.
police lieutenant.
So similarly here, there was just a few small changes. You'll see we've added, in terms of reporting structure, it's police chief and police captain. And then under supervisory responsibility, dispatch center staff was removed because we do have an emergency communications center manager who oversees dispatch staff now, so it was not appropriate to leave in this job description.
Makes sense.
The only thing that strikes me is that there's 2 people that this person reports to. And that's not something that I'm accustomed to. Because who is the hiring and firing authority or initiator,
Mhm.
and who's making decisions as to one's performance? So the rationale to have 2 bosses is what?
Who else does the lieutenant report to other than the police chief?
And captain,
Oh, interesting.
Why? Yeah, did they ask for that? Or did?
yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Did you address that? That is I think, a great point. Like, how do you have two? How do you roll up to two different people and like? I'm just thinking in terms of the conflict.
Unless it's that it's intended to mean that they do report to the captain, but because the police chief is the appointing authority, strong chief, I don't know. I wasn't
Mhm.
part of that discussion, but
Well,
I sort of have a
think it's
wondering
worth
as well, because
circling back. That I don't find, I've never found having two bosses
oh, I've done it
To
and it's
be,
awful.
to be really good.
It's not a smart
But I
move,
mean,
really.
I assume, it's sort of paramilitary structure, so everyone with the ranks go all the way up to the chief, so even though it's like chief and captain, the captain's really gonna go up to, I'm sorry, backwards.
Mhm.
Lieutenant's gonna go to the, captain, and then
Yeah.
the captain's gonna go to the chief, so I hear what you're saying, but.
I think that
in
would be true if you took
practice-
the chief out and left captain.
Yeah.
in, That paramilitary structure is kind of inherent in that. That obviously the chief has the final say, but. It might be less confusing if you identify a supervisor. I think it's a good point.
So I'm gonna just ask that point, concern, whatever, be addressed
Yeah, I'm kind
Before
of
we-
curious too, so.
before this is cast in concrete.
Mhm.
I mean, I know we don't have to approve,
Yeah.
but we certainly have the
It's-
requirement to.
Yeah.
Just get a question, so yeah, I mean,
Very
I'm curious too.
Okay,
Shows how
so,
closely I read. the
I don't
packet.
know either.
well, yeah,
But it is tough. I mean, I had a job once where I reported to the town manager and the superintendent of schools, and it's like. Two bosses and like two totally different sets of rules on each side of the house too. I mean, it wasn't even the same.
all right, we'll go to the geriatric health nurse.
Yes, sorry, there's a bunch of pages in between. So similarly here, the reports to was updated to the correct title for that person in the role. It's now the assistant director. And there was just a few small changes. This is a vacancy right now as well.
Okay, any questions?
So this is COA rather than, well, Human Services Council on Aging, but it's not public health, or do they partner with public health, or are they completely separate?
They
Health
do,
department.
they do work together and
Yeah.
collaborate on things, but it is, from what I understand from the health director and from the COA director, that it really is two separate types of nursing. 'Cause at one point, we did talk about possibly combining, you know, the position into one. The last time we had a vacancy on the geriatric health nurse, then we briefly talked about it now when we had our vacancy with the public health nurse. But it really is two distinctly different types of work, but they do work very closely together, and they work with, I think even like the nursing staff, in the school department, they work with the social workers, they're part of the whole, behavioral health collaborative group that they have, so there's definitely a lot of, crossover work, and nobody's completely siloed, in either of these roles. They both pitch in.
I was curious about the bullet that starts, conducts home visits and assessments of Concord seniors.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anybody from COA that's, but I'm curious as to how that actually works.
It's, I believe how it works is somebody calls in with some sort of a medical need, or like they hear that like a senior that might regularly be attending all of a sudden hasn't been coming to the COA. They do, you know, well-being checks. It could be that somebody might be like, well, I'm feeling down with the weather, whatever it is, and then they'll arrange to have the nurse do like a home visit. The social workers similarly will make home visits as well.
Won't the police also make home visits?
Yeah, they'll do well-being checks, but we actually do have, counseling folks as well that they just see clients at their homes for whatever reason. And that's on both sides, both the COA counselors as well as, the under 60 social worker will go and do home visits as well.
Clearly a huge need and problem in this country to, dealing with how you
Mm.
provide help for the elderly and.
And we have a
Or-
large 60+ population here in Concord, so it's pretty significant.
Any other thoughts or? Okay, so we have completed the review and discussion of the updated job descriptions. So we can move on to item 5, tracking employee satisfaction discussion.
This has just been hanging out on our agenda. I'm not even sure
Well,
if it still needs to be on there, but,
well, I think where we're at with this, my recollection is that we talked a few months ago about trying to have December as the month that we would be perhaps formalizing or creating a summary document about what do we, the personnel board, feel we could suggest to the select board in terms of the issues of the employee morale and so forth. And, I think we concluded at one of the previous meetings that having the personnel board initiate a survey, an employee survey, was not within our interest or domain of an area, so that I would think that we would have to, one of the things that we could do would be to suggest to the select board that the town consider perhaps a biannual or whatever employee survey that provides the kind of detail and the kind of information that the select board is hoping to be able to obtain. So, that would be one specific item that we could put in this summary document. I think we've also talked about that we do have, thanks to Aaron and the other members of the Human Resources Department, we're starting to acquire data that fits into hiring and retention. I think we still have, and we've all agreed that there's still some more fine tuning that can be done to make this even more specific and better. But other than those two things, I don't think we've really, and that's why I'm bringing it up now. I don't think we've really come up with anything else that we could recommend to the select board of what the personnel board can contribute.
I do recall we said, whether or not over any given period, the personnel board had heard any appeals of employee terminations or something to that extent, whether to the extent they would find that helpful or useful, we could report that to them.
Okay, I think that'll be good to put in the minutes, because I think that's a very, very good point, so. From your vantage point, Kate, is there, and maybe even in relying on your experience in Wayland, is there anything else that you can see that the personnel board in Wayland has given an insight to the select board about issues dealing with retention and recruiting, or there's not a silver bullet here?
Yeah, I can't think of anything that they're currently or have been working on. It's not an area that they've really dived into. Yeah, so.
Well, maybe what I could do is to get together with Mark Howell and then see if he might be able to join us in December. And we can perhaps, I'll take it on myself to put a summary statement together for purposes of discussion. And again, the objective and the goal is to have something in writing from the personnel board to the select board that addresses what we on the personnel board feel we can do, or other organizations so can do to address this concern. Is that, Kate and Josh, does that make sense?
Yeah, to me, it
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
I'm dying to do a survey, so I hope we can get something out. I really want to get a pulse on where people are at. We've gotten snippets through some of the ones we've done just recently with regard to events and the goal setting and incentive pay programs. So I'd love to do a survey. So whatever it ends up being, like, we're ready. Good, bad, or
Well, I
ugly,
think-
bring it on.
I think that's good to hear. I think the survey questions, if the objective is long-term,
Mm,
over 10, 20 years, whatever, so that you have consistent feedback along the same questions.
yes,
Now, maybe there's a miscellaneous at anything else at the very end, but so giving some time and thought to the questions, I think could be very, very helpful. I think the personnel board would like to be able to, at least understand what your objectives and goals are and how you might go about doing that, because I think it does, a survey can in fact provide, as we all know, some wealthy, good data of how things are.
especially again around the areas we were talking about earlier with, culture building and development and things like that. We could ask a question about how they feel about benefits, but like, we know what the answer is going to be. We know they're all going to say health insurance is too much money. We want a better, I mean, those things we know the answers to, and they're not things that really can be easily fixed. I mean, we have budget limitations and, especially with health insurance, it's expensive for everybody everywhere. It's not like that's a unique problem to Concord, right? So I'd rather focus on, questions that can help us gauge like the things we actually can take some positive action and direction on that's realistic and, improve people's work life here and make them again want to come here and
Sure.
stay here.
Right.
So
Okay, any other questions, comments before we move on to personnel board membership?
Just only because you mentioned benefits and it's open enrollment for me right now. When is open enrollment?
spring
In the
for July 1st, but we do have a mid-year. Right now for our retirees, we're now offering vision and dental insurance to retirees right now. So we're doing kind of a mini open enrollment, 100% paid by the retirees. So it's
Sure.
basically no cost to the town and something they've been asking for. And then we are changing our life and long-term disability carrier from the Guardian to the Standard on January 1st. So that's going to be basically an auto rollover conversion, and then we'll do an official open enrollment on July 1st with all of the health plans for people who want to sign up.
No change to the benefit though with that.
No, it's actually, it's the same, if not slightly better benefit for less money. So,
What do we do for
So,
current employees what is the contribution split?
if they're on the high deductible plan, it's 70-30, and then if they're on the regular non-high deductible plan, it's 65-35. And then we have a PPO as well that's like 50-50 and like 3 people take it, because why would you?
Like, I was just curious.
Yeah,
So you're looking to join in on it?
Well, mostly when you said that, it's hard to do anything about the benefits,
Yeah.
and I was just curious to know, if honestly, I mean, to me, 65-35 doesn't sound. It sounds not far off what probably most people.
no, and again, our co-pays are probably a lot lower than people have in the private sector, but I think for folks that have never worked anywhere but Concord or anywhere but a municipality, they don't fully understand that. I mean, I remember 15 years ago when I was in Bedford, we were going from like a $5 copay to I think a 10 or 15, and people were flipping out. And it's like, I didn't know anybody with a $5 copay. Like, I thought it was like a typo on my insurance paperwork when I got it. It's like $5. So, and I think our out-of-pocket maximums are low. Our deductible is like maybe 500. Even on the high deductible, to me, it's not even a high deductible. It's like $1,000 or something, which to me is not high. Like, I hear high deductible, I'm thinking like $7,000, $8,000. So, And again, the town helps you out. If you take that high deductible plan too, we'll give you 1,000 for individuals and 2,000 for families towards your HSA plan as well. So I think 100% of our people could be on the high deductible, but we're hoping to roll out a little more education. I know they did some back when we first implemented it, but I think it's time for a refresh for people to really explain and educate on like how a high deductible plan works and how it can be a real benefit to you with the money we're giving you to help offset that. So
You use a broker to,
we do have, we have a broker, Sue Shalou from Cook and Company. Now it's, I think, Hill Group. You guys probably use, everybody uses Sue. And then our medical plans are all with Maya, so that we have reps and folks from Maya as well that help us.
yeah, I would always, every year I'd make certain we brought in somebody from
Mm,
the broker or the insurance company, whatever, to hold some employee meetings because
yeah,
more information is better than less information.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so anything else before, let's see, we got
Members, we
personnel
need
board-
members.
the personnel board membership.
You guys are great, but we're only running with 3 people right now. We
This
need
is,
2 more people.
This is a goal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how we're gonna add more, but we have to add more.
we need.
We need
a couple
2 more.
people.
Yeah, yeah. I do appreciate Kate and Josh that you're very diligent in making sure that you can come, because if either one of you can't come, then we're not gonna have a meeting. I will, when I see Mark, I can talk about, any of his. I don't think I've gone through in all the years, I've been on this board for 9 years. 9 years. Or something like that, time flies, but we've never gone this long without being able to have additional people who wanna join.
I think it would be interesting to find out if the town survey is searchable for professional experience and if we can identify a few people that way. Have relevant backgrounds.
So, be a little bit, yeah, so we're talking about the annual census that
Yeah,
we fill out?
yeah.
Hmm.
I know that I got,
Hmm.
they asked me to identify my job category broadly. I don't know.
It's a public record, so, but whether or not they're obligated to disclose, presumably it's in some sort of a database Excel format, I would think.
Or who's the collector of
The
the,
town clerk, so I can ask
yeah, if you
and see
could,
what intel I can get.
it's a good point, ask the town clerk. All right. Any other business to come before the personnel board that? I don't even know if we have, I don't think we have any citizens.
No, all we had tonight was Jennifer. It was a quiet
Yeah.
night.
Wow. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
We adjourn,
Right.
29.
Second,
All right. Moved and seconded. Kate,
Oh, wait, before we close, we should just make sure we're all good for the next meeting, since we do need all 3 of you. It'll be December 10th, Wednesday.
thank you for. Yeah, so I'm okay on December 10th.
I think I look good. You do look good. The,
You do look good, Josh.
you know, the school holiday, like, there could be a concert or
Yeah.
anything at any minute. I just,
Yep.
yes, the calendar in front of me looks okay. So I'll cross-check the home calendar as soon as I get home.
Oh, yeah, there is a CMS band concert at 7 o'clock on the 10th. Yeah, I mean,
We could start earlier if people can do it. We could start like at 4:35, but I don't know where people, you're coming from Wayland, like,
yeah.
or we could just pick a different night, but we should just decide that.
I mean, I could get here by 5. I could actually even get here by 4:30 if I needed to. I could leave Wayland at 4 and get here by 4:30. I don't know if that's too early for.
We can
everybody.
give you a crash pad too, if you wanna come earlier and work here, like, I mean, serious. I know all the crash pads in town because I use them frequently when I'm bebopping around, but yeah, we can definitely set you up too, if, you know, just getting here earlier before any rush hour and you can work for a few hours, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I could come in earlier. There's a 7 o'clock concert that,
Yeah, you
At
gotta get
CMF.
to.
Yeah,
So-
that's important.
Yeah.
So is 4:30 realistic?
I seem okay.
we don't usually go past 2 hours.
No,
So
no.
that's
I don't think
reasonable.
we
We're an
can
hour
extend
tonight.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
That's fine.
why don't we, I'm glad you raised this, Jess, so we're gonna do 4:30 on December 10th.
Yep.
Okay,
Sounds good.
great.
Setting up
All right,
the-
so we have the motion and we are adjourned.